Isn't the internet so great? There's so much content out there on the internet that is just begging to be heard by numerous internet users lurking across the digital world. Seems pretty fun, doesn't it? And it is. But maybe it's not all good. The internet does have its ups and downs when you really think about it. I mean, sure, you've got access to millions of databases posted by anyone across the globe, and although it's not a physical world, it can easily be treated by one. It can be great to find the kind of content you're interested in, and being able to find other users who may share a similar experience as yours. The internet and what it's capable of can be very useful, and really, we wouldn't be the way we were without it. But of course, we're humans. We're diverse, we have different backgrounds, experiences, and knowledge, and all of us have our own unique preferences when it comes to anything. But again, we're humans. Due to our evolutionary processes, the structure of society, and the way we're psychologically driven, we're not built perfectly, and that can lead to a lot of misunderstandings and miscommunication. It's just that, for the internet specifically, the situation between communication is different. When you're on the internet, you're protected by certain barriers. First of all, it is so easy to navigate the internet anonymously. You don't need to do an identity check, you don't need to write any personal information that everyone's going to see, and you don't even need to use your real name on the internet. Everyone will only ever see the kinds of things you post publicly, and anyone can interpret that content into whatever they imagine it to be. The issue that I have about the internet is that it is so easily accessible. The internet is still so commonly used even in public spaces. Using your phone is the norm, and you can even look at your phone as an excuse to not talk to anyone there, but still kind of look like you're vibing. I would know. I've done that. It does suck how much the internet has been utilized to our favor. It's gotten so normalized that I'm sure most of us spend the majority of our lives on it. Like, I never realized how much I used the internet until I had a power outage for a day and was bored to death. I mean, at this point, we can't even live without it now because we're so adapted to it. And what's worse is that the internet is also a public space in its own way. But since the internet is completely different from reality, we interpret the internet as something real when it isn't. Young people are exposed to it, old people are exposed to it, all of us are, and I don't see that going away. Unless, I don't know, AI becomes way too good? What always boggles me about the internet is that there is a lot of content out there. Like, you can literally type almost anything on a search engine that you want to see, and you'll find it. And what are you doing right now? You're watching my video, and you're listening to me talking right now. But what else could you do? Go outside, do another hobby, or watch any other video that's posted by me or anyone else. But no, you're watching this exact video out of the countless things that you could also do on the internet. I mean, the internet is seriously huge. The things I post are only a speck compared to any other form of content that's out there, and anyone can post whatever, as long as you have an electronic device and an internet connection, which I'm sure you have because you're watching this video. But the thing is, whenever anyone navigates across the internet, you're looking at some form of content, but you're not seeing everything. And that's what many people, especially influencers and stars, take advantage of. It's very easy to display aspects of your life publicly for everyone to see, because you can show only the good parts of your life. When you're on the internet, you don't need to post your mistakes, your failures, or any mess-ups. You can show only every win, achievement, and victory, and that tends to create a distorted image of reality. Because we're so absorbed in the internet, we see the internet as real life since we spend so much time on it. But that's not what reality is. It's really bad that we compare our life to others that we don't even really know. It is a common thing to do, but it's a lot worse when you compare yourself to the internet. Comparing your entire life to another internet user that only posts their victories, that creates unrealistic expectations of how great someone's life actually is. But why do we only post our victories? That's how we're driven to act. Humans seek social validation and approval, and receiving positive feedback gives us that rush of dopamine, and that can only be achieved through posting only positive things. No one ever wants to post negative things about themselves because people will think they're worthless and horrible. The only way they'll feel worthy is if they post good things, and now everyone will think you're happy and cool. But then that creates an image of a person that doesn't fully encompass who they are completely. But because we're so immersed in knowing a person based on what we're able to see publicly, we'll think that that person is always one thing when they're not. And that can be hurtful to anyone still learning about themselves. One of the issues I have about the internet is that the demographic of users are mostly children, which is not really that much of a surprise anyway. I mean, I was born after the internet came into existence, so I was also exposed to it at a young age. It's just that the internet has changed so much, so the content that I consumed as an underaged internet user is very different compared to what kids these days are consuming now. But it's still bad. Now that I'm older and at least more aware of the content that I make now, I'm starting to notice the kinds of things that children post on the internet, and as much as I would like to trash them, I can't. Whenever I find content that underage users post, I can kind of relate to that. When I was also an underage internet user, I was stupid. I used to post tons of mean comments and I was just a complete jerk. Why was I a jerk? I don't know, it just felt good to say something so negative because it felt thrilling and fun, and watching someone else in pain is hella satisfying. But now I'm on the receiving end of the situation. Now I'm the one getting tons of hate and mean comments from mostly children. It's completely exhausting, but it is what it is. I'm not going to be the one to get frustrated over what they say, because if I was their age, I probably would have done the same thing. But now that I'm seeing those comments from an outsider's perspective, it's really embarrassing because I likely have done the same thing many times in the past, and I'm just now realizing how stupid I really am. I still have embarrassing thoughts every time I start an argument with someone for literally no reason. But I didn't know any better, I just did what felt good. But it doesn't make me feel good now. Part of me wishes that I wasn't so exposed to the internet so early. My dad gave me an iPad when I was 6, and I remember posting my very first YouTube video back when I was, I think, 7? But again, I thought I was being so cool, uploading videos like a pro YouTuber. Yeah, thank God those videos are private, never to be seen again. While we're on the topic of privacy, now I received many questions from my viewers if I have any other socials since I don't have any other links. And I do, but I'm not open to sharing that kind of info here. I know that all, if not most of us, use way more social media platforms than just one, and I know that all, if not most of us, post things on different platforms. For me, it's kind of difficult. I do use other social media platforms besides YouTube, but I'm not willing to publicly share other socials. And that's because uploading in several different places is too overwhelming for me. I'm not really that kind of person to always have something to upload, because my life's not really interesting enough to have something to say all the time. I'm only really on YouTube just to post content, and that's it. So I'm not really going to say much about that, other than the fact that I do have an Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter, but I don't post anything on there that has any relation to my YouTube stuff. And what's crazy is that some of my YouTube viewers have found my Reddit and Instagram account, and some even tried DMing me. I just want to say, for the record, do not expect me to reply to any DMs or accept any friend requests that you may have for me. I'd much rather keep this stuff private because I don't feel comfortable talking to internet strangers on a more personal level, especially since there's a high likelihood that those who try to talk to me are minors. It's for your own good anyway, and I prefer to keep my life outside of what I say on YouTube personal. My point is, I don't like using too many platforms to post content because it gets very overwhelming for me. Even on the internet, I get easily exhausted when I have too much access to interacting with too many people. That's why I don't have the urge to reply to anyone, unless it's worth saying something. You know, the harsh truth about being a content creator who's still growing, I've dealt with lots of hate, and I mean a lot, and I know it's not just me. Almost anyone who posts about themselves on the internet for many people to see, you're always going to get some form of reaction out of other people, and not everyone will be nice about it. I, along with everyone else who posts on the internet, is gonna receive feedback from others, and usually the ones who are familiar with you, or know you already, or seem to get a positive first impression from you, are typically gonna say nice things. But not everyone will. Everyone has a different perspective on things, and especially on the internet, no one is afraid to be truthful. That's why mean people are mean. They're speaking their truth. You see, in real life, we're generally good at hiding our emotions and acting friendly with strangers because it's in person, the conversation feels more direct, and it's not an anonymous conversation. But on the internet, it's the opposite. We don't know each other, we don't even know what we look like, and it's typically a lot easier to jump to conclusions on the internet because, well, I'd say it's a lot easier to judge someone because we're more open to saying what we want, and because it's not in person, we're more protected. So for me, I get tons of hate from many users on the internet, even though they don't even know me that well to formulate a well thought out opinion. So why do they hate me? Because they make judgments based on first impressions, and because they don't know me personally, they don't have any actual personal connection with me. That's why they're more free to say horrible things with no remorse, and that's something I had to overcome as a content creator. At first, getting past that little bump of hate comments was bad, but it kept going. I've dealt with many people on the internet, more specifically children and trolls, who would post tons of negative things about me and try to make me look like a horrible person. I remember one time, some internet user went out of their way to make a video about me, accusing me that I've done illegal things. I mean, really? Again, it's the internet. Anyone could say what they want, and maybe someone out there will believe it. During that time, it was only good for me to ignore those people until they stopped, which they did. But of course, no matter how many times I bring this kind of thing up, hate is never going to stop. If I'm going to meet new viewers every single day, at least one of them is bound to say something hateful, and I can't stop that. At first, dealing with hate was such a foreign experience for me because I've never been popular enough to get that kind of feedback. But I do feel like getting past hate was a good thing in the end because it made me more humble about how anyone would react to me. Hate or love, I'm always going to get both. But facing massive hate for the first time was not easy at all. But I don't want to leave everything off as bad. Sure, the internet is generally a place full of chaos, but it does bring a lot of happiness too. As overwhelming as it is to be surrounded in a very populated area where anyone can be as negative as they want, whether in person or online, I feel like there's always somewhere that's made for me. The internet does bring a lot of comfort, and all it takes is finding the right creators and the right community members, because surely out of all internet users that exist, there's gotta be at least someone that'll fit in with you. And that's kind of the reason why I wanted to be a content creator myself. Watching other content creators that I enjoy does bring a lot of comfort and enjoyment, and I want to be a part of that too. I hope that my channel and the content I make has helped other people. I just want my channel to be a little space for myself to feel free to talk about anything and reach out to anyone that may be interested in learning about my opinions on things. But obviously, my content is open for anyone to watch, so it makes total sense that my community will be filled with hate too. Again, it's the internet, and our limitations with what we're allowed to say is very different from real life. Being a content creator has not been easy due to the many things people have said about me, and I know that as my channel will continue to grow, I won't be surprised to see how badly the internet will treat me in the future. At least now, I'm prepared. But I do wish we'd just take it easy.